In Germany, the Bundespost quickly traced the hacker into Hanover. There, we ran into another roadblock. The problem was at the telephone exchange. This German exchange dated back to the 50s and was filled with antique rotary switches. The technician had to test a room full of switches by hand. That could take over an hour. But the hacker never stayed on the line that long. Frustrating? You bet.
Great.
Hello, Steve White speaking. Oh, hi, Cliff. Okay, 1 second, 1 moment. Cliff, I saw him a moment ago, but then he was gone.
Oh.
Yeah, better luck next time. See ya. Bye.
Damn. For weeks it went on like this. Time after time, the hacker would log on for 5 minutes or less, and then disappear. So I got smart. I asked Martha and her housemate Claudia what to do.
How long does it take to do the whole trace?
Well, we can get him to Germany really fast, but once we're in Hanover, phone company needs half an hour to finish the trace.
How come they're so slow?
Some kind of mechanical switch, or some guy has to walk along and check things out, I guess.
But wait, so he would have to be on the LBL computer for a total of like an hour?
Yeah, we need him on for an hour.
Well, there isn't anything on our machine that he'd want to read.
That's right. He comes in, steps through our machine, and goes elsewhere. There's nothing in our machine that's interesting to him. Look, it's just science. Military stuff, that's another story, but my system in Berkeley, no, it's wide open. It's public, practically.
If there isn't anything he's interested on your machine now, why don't you make some up?
Huh?
Well, if you want him to stay on the machine, there should be something there that he wants to read. So why don't you make up some secret government information?
Come on. Can't make
No,
up
I mean
secrets.
seriously. Yeah, but he doesn't know. I mean, if it's a secret, then he wouldn't know that we made it up. Like, took, like, those memos you always get from the Department of Energy and changed them a little bit and put, like, Star Wars in it and stuff.
You mean phony secrets?
Say it was like this information network, like there'd be Center for Processing Documents, and it would all be like really bureaucratic and boring, and something about implementing the implementation procedure and
So it has to sound bureaucratic and boring.
right, and most of it would be nothing at all, but every once in a while we'd drop little things like SDI and
Star Wars
chemical
stuff.
warfare and
Chemical warfare.
Why not? You can even use like stuff like mailing lists, like form letters and mailing lists.
Oh,
and
you could give him an address to write to. Maybe he'll be dumb enough to write to it.
to put his name on the mailing list.
Hey, wouldn't take a couple afternoons to do. It would just be planting something that he'd want to nibble, and enough of it so that he'd have a feast.
At least for a couple hours.
Taken down and installed in Curacao, release line, down backup.
Okay. Well, that sounds good.
Carry on from there.
Thanks, my phone. I'll call you later. Yeah. Hi, Steve White speaking. Oh, hi, Cliff. Is our friend on again?
Yeah, hacker's on. Start the trace.
Okay. I was already logged in. I got him. I think it's coming from Hanover again. Let me call the Bundespost. I'll call you right back, okay?
Okay, it looks like he swallowed the bait. It's going to be a long session.
Great. Just try to keep him on.
Yep.
Thanks. Bye.
Stay there. Stay on the line. Come on, stay there. Hello.
Hey, Cliff, great news. The trace is complete.
The Germans got him?
Yep, they got all the digits of the phone number now.
Well, who is he?
Well, they won't tell us at the moment. They have to go get the warrants and things, but they know who it is. So we did it.
Far out! Well, I'm headed home to celebrate. Celebrate with a strawberry milkshake.
I think I'll have a beer. Bye.
Well, that was that. Case solved. Or almost. It had taken 6 months to trace this hacker, and would be another 6 months before I found out who he was. The Germans still had to catch him, and we had to gather enough evidence to bring him to trial. Now the FBI really did help out. In charge of the case was Special Agent Mike Gibbons.
Well, Cliff had originally traced the hackers into my backyard in Northern Virginia, but I didn't really have a lot to go on. A few weeks later, he called me and told me that the hackers were all the way over across the ocean in Germany and that he really needed some help. We thought it was a pretty serious matter when you have people from another country that are breaking into various government and military computer systems. So we opened full investigation into the matter. We met with the Germans over here and tried to describe what was going on. We found we had no extradition in place, no way to bring these hackers over to American justice, but the Germans had some new laws in place and were quite willing to prosecute them over there.
The case finally came to trial in January 1990. It was held in Celle, a small town near Hanover. Amazingly, we'd stumbled across not just a hacker, but an actual spy ring. A bunch of people breaking into computers and selling whatever they could find to the KGB. 3 years after Dave had asked me to find that 75-cent error, there I was, an expert witness in a case of international espionage. 4 people were involved in the case. Dirk Brzezinski and Peter Karl. Brzezinski was a programmer. Karl, a former croupier, was a contact person for the KGB. Karl Cook, also known as Hagbard, died a few months before the trial took place. And the hacker I had followed, the face behind the printouts. Marcus Hess, 28 years old, a programmer from Hanover. When asked, Hess admitted that was a Benson & Hedges he was smoking. Another score for Maggie.